Let me ask you a question. You're walking to school, you're walking to work, you're fucking around home, doing whatever, and your favorite game flashes by your head. Nostalgia overload. Out of nowhere, you're just like, holy shit, I remember this game. What was it that you immediately looked up? Was it the gameplay? Was it memes? Was it YouTubers playing it? Chances are it was the music. The music in a video game is one of the most underrated and important parts of a game. It helps immersion, helps you build into the world, remember it, remember exactly what was so fun about it. The music conveys the emotion, real stuff right here. And when we talk about racing games, because this is a car racing channel if you haven't known by now, I feel like it's a little subjective, right? So instead of researching, I did something different. I walked around my table just word vomiting like this, asking myself questions. What makes my favorite games so memorable? It didn't only have to do racing games. I had to find a formula, right? So I'm just walking around thinking about like Skyrim, Pokemon, Midnight Club 2, like just really trying to figure out why these games mattered so much to me. And then, it hit me. 3 elements in a racing game soundtrack that really dictates if it's good or bad. It's structure, application, and theme. I'm going to be discussing all 3 of these separately in different slides. And then because I love you guys, because I'm so passionate about the racing game community, I want to talk a little bit about Unbound. See, Unbound was a really good racing game, but very polarizing because of its music.
Somebody say, hey, we want some money.
We're going to apply this strategy and talk about why Unbound failed to have a good soundtrack. Garcade, pivot into next slide. Cool music, transformation. Alright, you're seeing a lot on this screen right now. Let me break it down for you. When we think about a structure of a song, we think about the lyrics, the beats per minute, BPM, and the rhythm / the instruments used. There's 3 levels in a racing game. There's cruising, there's fun time, and then lacking, level 3. I want to talk about these 3 elements in these 3 stages. Level 1, cruising. I said anything you listen to in the shower. This is anything you put on your own to help you relax, to help you chill out. Now, what does that mean? There's gonna be lyrics or there's gonna be no lyrics. There's 2 types of cruising. You're either cruising to really let go of the world, right? Just to daydream. Or you're cruising to just enjoy driving your car, which a lot of us do. So depending on that is how much lyrics. Usually the daydream means more lyrics. Enjoying the driving experience means less lyrics. That's just what I've learned. The BPM is usually slower. It helps you slow down. It doesn't want to stress you out. Cruising is a therapy. Cruising is a vibe, right? You're not going fast. In fact, you're probably going lower than the speed limit. So the BPM is very low. And finally, the rhythm and the instruments. These instruments were probably invented in like 800 BC, right? A lot of these things are man-made physical objects that have been around, like the piano, the guitar. The guitar is a little more aggressive, but a lot of these instruments do exist in real life. Level 2, fun time. Street racing vibes. You're going aggressive, you're going hard, but ultimately it's for fun. You're not actually taking yourself too seriously. You're laughing. You might be even playing with friends, right? This is where, you got the heavy metals, even the raps, like the Night Lavelles, the Suicide Boys. You've got funk music. And ultimately, the lyrics are pretty heavy in this one, and the BPM is most of the time really high. And it's supposed to really just rile you up. That's the purpose of this, because you're trying to just have fun, and when you really think about fun, the more risk you take, the more fun. So this kind of music really makes you go bang, 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 let's have some fun, let me take that jump, let me fucking kill the opponent, let's fucking go, just hot shit. This is the type of stuff you would play at a pregame to hype everyone up, and ultimately, the rhythm and instruments, very 50-50. 50% of these are produced behind the screen in the lab, and then, there's going to be those guitars, those heavy metal instruments, they're going to be around too. It's really 50-50. Finally, level 3. Holy shit! Okay, we're locking in now. Okay, this is the type of stage you're in when you want nothing more than a win, right? You want to focus. You're not going to take risks every corner. You really want to optimize everything so you can win. You don't want to come second. That's the thing. I never come second, so I listen to this type of stuff. This is only driving and focus. You don't play this shit in the shower. You don't play this shit in the pre-games. When we talk about the lock-in, the lyrics are actually a bit interesting, and I'm gonna say why. 90% of music for this stage, no lyrics. The 10% is Eurobeat. And why is that? Because Eurobeat, the songs exemplify, is that the right word to use here? The songs really motivate you to go harder and harder. But not in the way where it's aggressive, but they tell you to go, 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 heartbeat, heartbeat, heartbeat. They don't sound like this, they're much better. But the Eurobeat is a very high BPM song with lyrics that pump you, that make you want to drive faster, and make you want to stay focused. Outside of Eurobeat, when you think about trance, when you think about the Wangan music, you know, just like the focusing stuff, you don't really listen to a lot of lyrics. You want to more be lost in the car. You know, a lot of these, for level 1 and level 2, you're listening to the song. Level 3, the song is listening to you. You know, cool. Write that on a quote. That was insane. Again, the BPM is usually very high. There can also be melodic trance, which is very, I'll put some examples again, very low BPM that rises and goes down. Very volatile. It really depends on, you know, what your vibe is, whether you want to lock in doing Wangan street racing or the toge driving or even just racing real cars on a circuit. And the rhythm and instruments, and most of these aren't physical instruments. They're sounds made in a computer. Okay, so why is structure important in a racing game? I'd say a good racing game soundtrack embodies all three. They need to have level 1, when you just want to sit back, relax. You want to have level 2, where you're dicking around with your friends. And you want to have level 3, where you're locked in, nothing else matters. Next thing. Alright, thank you guys for listening to that absolute gauntlet. We're talking about theme now. This is a little more exciting. First impressions. You're loading up a fucking game. That main menu music. We're talking about Need for Speed Carbon. We're talking about Midnight Club 2. We're talking about Midnight Club 3. We're talking about just the first impressions of a world, right? You get a game, you download it, you put the disc in, whatever. You get on that home screen, you load it up, there it is. There's a trailer, that's the pitch. That's the developers telling you this is the world you're about to step in. For Midnight Club 2, for example, the main menu feels like you're in a spaceship. You feel like everyone's an alien. You feel like you're about to enter such an unknown world. And for the most part, Midnight Club 2 just throws you out there and tells you to go fucking figure it out. And that really sets the tone for the game you're about to play. This is very important, and it is subjective. It ranges game to game. Some games will have that sci-fi opening. Some will have this super high retro style. Some of these will have more mellow, or some chill, or some commercial. It depends on the type of game you're playing. Number 2, world building. It's very similar to First Impressions. In fact, I think I did just cover it a little bit. But ultimately, what a song needs to do is build and help the atmosphere being created, right? When we think about Most Wanted, the OG one, you're in Rockport City. The clouds are piss. Everything's a yellow tint. It's an industrial city. What better music genre than heavy metal, depressed music, just like, fuck the world, I hate you, mom. In fact, when that bad guy is Razor, who drives a black Mustang with flames on it and steals your car by fucking it up, you want some evil shit, dark heavy metal. So it really depends on the type of world, and you have to apply it correctly. The thing that really characterizes a good soundtrack is if it fits the type of game. When we talk about sim racing, we want to think about more professional music. When we think about arcade, it's more of a just go crazy, right? And when we think about simcade, it's a little bit of a mix. You never want to listen to Gran Turismo songs when you're playing Need for Speed, and vice versa. It has to fit for the soundtrack to be good. And that's why overall the theme is important, because I don't think soundtracks actually are good because of, the songs, which sounds crazy, right? It sounds stupid, but I think they need to be applied correctly to a world. Okay? So when we think about Most Wanted, it's a perfect example. You can't just individually pick good songs, put them together, and hope it meshes well with the game, what they're currently driving, how fast they're going, the stakes. You really need something that really blends them together. Now, we go next. All right, finally we've got application. Capture the fucking moment. And there's no better game to tie this into than Midnight Club 2. Let me explain why. You start out Midnight Club 2, you're in LA. Tutorial phase, easy, everyone's more, laid back. They're a little mean to you, but they're also just messing around. We got Moses, we got Hector, we got Angel, we got Gina. These songs are level 1, cruising vibes. Either these songs are, heavy lyrics in terms of like rap, or they're chill house, which is really helps you just sit back and take it in. You're in this game for the first time. And then we go to level 2, which is Paris. This is where shit gets fun. You're taking a lot of jumps, tight corners, quick reflexes, and you're gonna be crashing a lot. You're hitting walls. You're also gonna be getting hit a lot. This is where they bring the house music. This is where, fuck it, we kind of figured out how to play the game. Now let's have some fun. And then finally, level 3. Level 3 is Tokyo. Hardest part of the game. It no longer is fun here. If you can watch my videos, you can tell my enthusiasm in Paris versus Tokyo. Shit ton of traffic, shit ton of obstacles. You can't make any mistakes because everyone here is really good. Okay, so they play lock-in music. We're talking about insane trance. We're talking about music that you would never put on anywhere other than when you're driving. Period. Okay? This is how the soundtrack applies to the maps. Now it also applies to the characters. Let's go back to LA. We start off with Moses. He's this fat, chill-ass motherfucker. He plays some rap. It really covers him up. You've got Fareed. You've got this terrorist. They got a devious little track playing for that guy. We got Savo. He's the final fucking boss. The most intense music ever invented. This shit is insane. We've got Gina, it's the crush that you have. She kind of flirts with you, and her music is just all crushy, flirty. And so not only does the soundtrack envelop the maps, it envelops the characters specifically. And that's what makes Midnight Club 2 the hallmark of racing game soundtracks. Application. So yes, this is the most important part of the entire formula, in my opinion. Next fucking slide. Okay, now for the thing you've been waiting for. Unbalanced soundtrack, the most polarizing soundtrack. Some people hate, No, most people hate it. Structure. Unbound is a level 2 and sometimes level 3 games polluted with level 1 songs. Okay, you're cruising, that's fine. But ultimately, this is a street racing game. You're in the nighttime, you're in the daytime, you're customizing. There's a lot of art styles. You need songs that either lock you in or make you get hype. And a lot of the songs just don't do that. I mean, there's a lot of good songs in that game that I listen to individually. But guess what? I'm listening to them when I'm driving to the grocery store. I'm not listening to them when I'm racing. You see that? That's a check mark. Now you're probably thinking, what the fuck? I thought this soundtrack was bad. They tied the soundtrack with the theme phenomenally. What's the problem? The theme does not warrant good racing songs. These are songs that actually, I'm going to say this, individually, great. But I put them on when I'm driving to the grocery store. These are pop songs, popular songs. Some of these songs are very hypey. See, you put this shit on a TikTok, right? And because of that, it's a double-edged sword. The theme fits the soundtrack, but the overall theme of both the maps, the atmosphere, and the soundtrack suck, right? We don't want to listen to TikTok music. We don't want to listen to hypebeast music. And it kind of ties to the structure. A lot of this genre is a level 1 type of stuff. It's popular music. Okay, application, again, ties into both the structure and theme. They don't apply high-end songs in terms of great songs for a racing game to the right moments. You can be going 220 miles per hour in a Lotus on the freeway. If you crash, you lose. You're neck and neck with someone, and you might be hearing, "Hey, we need some money." And in fact, a lot of racing games actually don't use application, but they cover it with the fact that just the song selection is good, right? So for example, Most Wanted 05, they got heavy metal. Most of the songs are heavy metal. So most of the time, when you're in that situation, you'll be listening to the right song. This is not the case. Most of the time, you're listening to bullshit, okay? And it's a lot, 80% of the soundtrack is bullshit. There's 20% that's really good, but you almost never hear it, okay? So they don't apply it, and they also don't apply it in the moments. When you're heated during the story, when you're meeting a character, when you're doing this, when you're doing that, when you're in the final race, you don't have a fucking song that really just puts you in your chair and tells you this is the moment you're about to win. This is the moment you finally become the champion. They don't do any of that. And what is this? What is this city? Chicago? Yeah, what the fuck is Chicago got to do with the songs? No. Takeaways, I think the biggest one is who gives a shit? It's music. We're not going to die because some song is bad on a game. But I do want to say this. When you think about movies, entertainment, shows, games, songs that fit the theme, and the theme fits the gameplay or the circumstances, that's the recipe for success, okay? And that's used by application, and that's used by theme, and that's used by structure. You need to apply the right structured songs at the right time, and then both of these need to fit into the theme. In fact, this is just what makes any soundtrack good. I think racing games are different in a little way, but overall, you just need immersion, right? And that's what it takes. You need structure, application, theme. So that's okay. Jesus Christ, the amount of yapping I've fucking done today. I'm gonna need my lungs checked out. I just fucking swallowed like 5 pounds of dust because of this vacuum, but I've been talking for 2 hours straight, I think. But I hope you've enjoyed this, and I would, I'm a fucking music slut, okay? I'm gonna say it. Recommend me some games below with a soundtrack killer, like killer soundtrack, because I'm actually excited to learn more about different genres, cultures, and yeah, let me know. This is Gar Arcade, and I'm so fucking glad we're done.